What is going on, everyone? I am back with one of my favorite type of Yu-Gi-Oh discussion videos to make, and that is Duelist Done Dirty, and this is part 3. For those of you who are tuning into a Duelist Done Dirty video for the first time, I will explain what a Duelist Done Dirty is, and that is pretty much just the duelists from the Yu-Gi-Oh anime that got their credibility absolutely squashed because of a duel. But this time, I'm taking things to the next level. I'm not just going to talk about particular duels, but I'm also going to reach out even further and also talk about straight up horrible portrayals of characters as well that really hurt how you look at them. So let's get into this, starting off with everyone's favorite Yu-Gi-Oh series, Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. Listen, Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 got a lot of things wrong. There is no sugarcoating that, and I mean a lot. But one thing they did get right was the portrayal of the King Jack Atlas. He had presence, he had intensity, he had an aura, he was the man. I said it in other videos before, but this is the version of Jack Atlas that we should have got in part 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. The same man who holds his head high as the king, but feels he has a sense of duty and convictions that he learned through his interactions with Carly. This version of Jack embodies the cool factor of Jack Atlas in part 1 of 5Ds, but also gives him a sense of righteousness that he owes to the people in both the tops and the comics who look up to him and view him as a powerful figure. Well, with that description, you might be asking, why is he on the Duelist Done Dirty list? That doesn't make any sense. Did he suck as a duelist or something? Well, no. The first time we saw Jack, he spanked Yuya and solidified himself as the guy to beat. Someone who Yuya must overcome, and he eventually did in an amazing duel. But this is Arc 5 and they couldn't just leave well enough alone. Because you see, for some reason, Jack and Yuya had a third duel during the time where you can tell that Gallop had no idea how to end the series, so just made Yuya do some random ass duels and wants to make the press kid turn into a baby smile. And yes, that is a thing. That is what Yu-Gi-Oh was attempting to do at the end of the series. In this third round match, Jack got spanked badly. They just wanted a show of Yuya for the first time summoning all the Dimension Dragons, and he just OTK'd Jack, who, mind you, had both his Boss Monster and the evolution of his Boss Monster on the field. They made Jack put up his strongest board just so we can see Yuya tear it down, and any credibility we had for Jack. That was just unnecessary. They essentially ruined the final battle of the tournament between Jack and Yuya that took multiple episodes to complete, for Yuya to just absolutely destroy him in a 1 1/4 episode. Seriously, he couldn't just go against Shinji again in a rematch? They pretty much did nothing of value with him anyway. Maybe a final bout against Saratari. They didn't care about him. Like, why embarrass Jack this badly? It's baffling, and I'm just gonna move on to someone I just mentioned, Saratari Shingo, the character that gets the perpetual middle finger from the production team. Seriously, this guy has won only a single duel in the whole entire series, and it was like a 4v3. This guy can't win anything one-on-one. I never thought I would see someone who can outdo Chaz in the joke of a rival department. And yes, Saratari is considered a rival, not the rival, but he does serve in the rival role to Yuya. I'll be honest, when I first saw Saratari, I thought he was gonna just be a one and done character despite him having an incredible character design. But he was kept around to my surprise. So the fact that he is a consistent cast member already means he exceeded what little expectations I had of the guy with that crappy dart deck, which surprisingly hasn't even been printed yet. But he is such a joke, and it is a shame because he was essentially like Chaz and even kind of had the same progression of sorts as the rich bully turned into a companion. But unlike Chaz, he couldn't win anything or gain any credibility, which is a shame because Saratari is one of the few duelists that embodies what it truly means to be an entertainment duelist. He constantly plays to the crowd even when he lost. He was exactly like Yuya and Dennis. He wasn't just about getting action cards. You can see he actually understood the role of an entertainer, which is the most prominent aspect of Arc 5's dueling format, and they rewarded him by making him a joke. It is a shame they couldn't give this guy anything at all. Well, while I'm here, let's just stay on this Arc 5 train with a character you probably didn't expect, and that is Michel Roget. When he was first introduced, I thought this was gonna be the big final boss of the Synchro arc. He was a cunning manipulator that would serve as a huge issue for the cast. But as the arc progressed, we found out this man has no control over anything, and he is not the mastermind I thought he would be. Aside from just being a puppet to Leo, the dumbest villain in all of Yu-Gi-Oh!, he also had no control of any situation and will lose his crap when things didn't go his way, like a baby throwing a tantrum. The best character comparison to him would be Admiral Hux from the Star Wars sequel trilogy, a character you thought would be a problematic villain with tons of power, just to realize they are a crying baby boy that can't handle anything at all. Mind you, this might have been okay if Jean was at least portrayed as an incredible duelist. I think his unhinged nature combined with an aptitude of a dangerous, powerful duelist would be very interesting and make him an unpredictable foe, but no, he just has an ancient gear deck like any Fusion Dimension mob character, and he's not even competent enough as a duelist to win fair because he needs to use a program that allows him to keep on dueling even when he loses, essentially beating his opponent in a war of attrition. And even with that advantage, he gets spanked by Reiji, which he should because it's Reiji. But it would have been nice if he had some credible moments as a duelist or even a personalized deck instead of just here's another ancient gear deck. Like, why couldn't they give him a new version of Mech Lords that are synchro monsters that can absorb any monster summoned from the extra deck instead of just synchros like the 5Ds versions? I mean, they revamped the Earthbound Immortals boss monster archetype from 5Ds, so why not give a new version of Mech Lords or something instead of just some bare bones ancient gear deck the likes we've seen plenty of times already in this damn series? You know what? I've been picking on Arc 5 too much, and well, I can't say they don't deserve it. If you thought my thoughts on 5Ds Part 2 was me being mean, just you wait until my video about Arc 5 comes out. Woo boy. But yeah, let's move on to Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and let's talk about Bastion Misawa. Why did they hate this character so much to unceremoniously just eject him from the series? For those who don't understand, Bastion was a major character in GX. He was as prominent as characters like Chaz, Alexis, and Cyrus. He essentially got the Tien and Yamcha treatment from Dragon Ball. Like, if you watch Dragon Ball, you will understand how these are important characters. Then going into Dragon Ball Z, you'll be like, what the hell? Why are they treating these guys like garbage? That is how I feel about Bastion, because he is a major character in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season 1 and 2, and all of a sudden he is gone until Season 3, until the cast goes into the monster world. And unlike Chumli, who got a send-off, Bastion was just gone without anybody even mentioning him. And it's not like he was a bad duelist or anything. He was competent, and he was the first character to do something all of us real players do, and that is have multiple decks. He was overall pretty unique, and I like that he was a smart and strategic duelist, which makes sense for an academy setting. So why did they just decide to essentially just write the guy off and then just pop out of nowhere like, oh yeah, I'm in a monster desert with Einstein? Was like, what the hell are you guys doing? Even the characters who are his friends, mind you, were like, oh, so you were here the whole time? If one of your friends from school or work went missing for months, you would think people would be more worried, but the characters seem to care just as little about Bastion as the showrunners did. Alright people, last duelist for this installment of Duelist Done Dirty, and it will be Emma. Damn. This is bad. When people talk about treating Yu-Gi-Oh! Females as trash, Emma should be way up there on that list. Her portrayal is horrendous. Her entire career is just being done dirty. And I know people are probably going to argue this because her deck was meta at one time, or because she's one of the hottest Yu-Gi-Oh! Women in the entire franchise. But seriously, look at her portrayal. She is technically the second weakest duelist in the entire series, only being better than Brave Max, which means nothing. But I want to talk about two particular duels where I felt this character had no chance at all, and this pretty much set her up for failure throughout the entire series. We kind of knew what this character was going to be after these two duels. The first one being her first ever duel, and that was against Playmaker. You see, Emma is smart, and she notices something very wrong with the series, and that is Playmaker's Storm Access skill is straight up just cheating, and that it always seems to give him the perfect card he needs for his situation, despite the fact that the card he's supposed to receive is random. It is like Emma is a viewer of the series watching along with us and notices that Playmaker's skill is just a Duel's Ex Machina in the form of a skill, which in itself is a problematic aspect of the series that I will get into more when I do my video ripping apart Vrains. It won't be pretty. I made my discussion video of 5Ds a while back, and I love 5Ds, but trust me, there will be no love from me in the Vrains vid. I will be coming into that vid with destruction in my mind because that is all that series deserves. But let's get back to Emma. You see, she makes a smart plan. Don't bring Playmaker's life points to 1,000 or less until she's ready to finish him off, preventing him from using Storm Access, which of course doesn't work, and as usual, he gets the perfect Link monster he needs at that exact moment to win. He so happens to get X Code Talker. If he got something like Power Code Talker or Shooting Code Talker, he would not have had secured his win. But he so happens to get the right Code Talker for his exact situation to counter this specific opponent. Mind you, again, these Storm Access cards are supposed to be random. But oh no, it doesn't end there. You see, there is another card that Playmaker uses against Emma, a very strange card called Scandal, a monster that allows the opponent to play a trap card from their graveyard, which is absolutely awful. Oh, but not against Emma, because activating Ultigeist Camouflage to equip to Emma's only monster allows Playmaker to attack directly. That card is terrible, and in 90% of the cases, it would be detrimental to use this against an opponent, but it specifically works against Emma in combination with X-Code Talker, and to further that point, how many times do you think Playmaker even used Scandal? Easy answer, he used it once because it is a horrible card, but against Emma it was perfect. Go figure, he drew this card that can counter Emma this one time ever in the entire series, and you can't even say he planned against Emma's deck because he never saw her duel before, and Scandal works in this situation even more because of the random X-Code Talker he got to counter Emma's play to special summon a monster during its turn to disrupt them. This is ridiculous. Alright, let's just move on to Emma versus Revolver. That's the second duel I want to talk about. I mean, yeah, we all knew she was going to lose that duel, but seriously, Revolver hit her with Red Reboot. He so happened to use Red Reboot against Emma, the trap card specialist of the series, and like with Playmaker Scandal, guess how many times he used this card in the series? Yeah, most of you already figured it out. Once! Emma is the queen of being hard countered. The creators knew her deck was actually good, so they needed to make characters low-key cheat just to beat her. Even if you look past these two duels, her portrayal isn't great. She lost against and teaming up with Blood Shepherd, who also deserves to be featured on a Duelist Done Dirty video himself. Goodness, why do they hate Emma so badly? I had so much high expectations of her. At least her VA is now in the Rush Era series, and at least one of the characters she portrays actually got a win against a credible duelist, which is better than what I could say she did in Vrains. But that's all I got for you guys in this installment of Duelist Done Dirty. Trust me, there will be a part 4 someday because there is over 20 years of Yu-Gi-Oh anime history, and trust me, most of that history was not kind to a lot of duelists. So let me know what you guys think about the ones featured in this vid, anything else you would like to add on to these entries that I already talked about, and who do you think should be in part 4. I'm going to be reading through your comments. That's all I got for you guys today. Please like, share, subscribe, anything that can help keep this channel alive and help it grow. I'm hoping to reach up to 3K, and when I do, hopefully I'm going to be doing a face reveal as well, because it's going to be so much easier to do videos with a face reveal instead of having to fill up so many minutes with just clips and random pictures. So please, please, please help me out there and get me up to that milestone. But that's all I got for you guys today. Peace out.